with today, I'm probably looking at trying to plan some kind of like Desmos game, or even maybe like a trash get ball review game or something like that. But we will be having a mastery either tomorrow or next week. I'm debating, like I had said that we were going to have a mastery tomorrow, but now I'm debating about just pushing it to next week, because that's kind of like the end of the quarter for us. Because then the following week, we have the author visit with Hanif on Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday are discovery days. So we will have a mastery at some point. Be ready for it tomorrow. What would the mastery be over? Solving equations. Exactly what we're doing today and what we've been doing. So no worries, right? As long as you come with me on our little mathematical journey today and ask me questions. If you have questions, you will be fine. All right, so look at the warm-up on your own. I'm going to give you a couple more minutes to look at those situations. Even though we use the same numbers, it's not going to be the same equations. Guys, I need you to be like a risk taker in here. Or, I mean, I don't know. That's probably the wrong word, but I need you willing to goof up. Like, I want you to try these things, and if you goof up, that's the point. That's why we do it together here in class. Let's have you actually transition on down to the bunny rabbit. We're going to come back to those situations up here at the end of class if we have time, or we might just talk about them tomorrow. But go ahead down to the bunny rabbit situation and ask yourself these questions that I have like in bold below. Like, try to answer those. You could highlight to color code it if you want. That's what I'm going to end up doing, is highlighting the color code. So I'm going to highlight the word once, and I'm going to come up here and find what thing happens once. The first thing I really need you to write down is that where I have happens once, there's a synonym that we could give to that. The happens once, we could also say, so guys, right here where we have happens once is where we start. So it's either the thing that happens once or the place that we're starting at. Like, depending on the situation, will depend on if it makes sense that we started there, or it makes sense that we only have one of those. I'll trade you. There you go. Thank you. Oh, we are totally using random cards today, by the way, to make sure that I'm getting participation from everyone. Where does the rabbit start?
I'm not sure, but do you mind if I use your paper cutter real quick?
I'm very upset that you don't know where the rabbit... Actually, you can only use my paper cutter if you can tell me where the rabbit starts, Mr. Johnson. It's right here. Where's the rabbit start?
I don't know where he is. What's the question?
A rabbit is, Lane.
So it is 4 meters away from its burrow.
Very good, Mr. Johnson. The rabbit is 4 meters away from its burrow. That is where it's going to start. You can even, like, take that if you need it, man. So our 4 should be highlighted all in the same color as what we had for happens once. All right, now, that's all that I have. Sorry, I even emptied out my other new box of highlighters, so you guys got to start bringing your own. Mia, what is going to happen multiple times? Yeah, the 0.4, because he's going to hop his way to that tasty plant, right? So he's at 4 meters, but then he's going to hop another 0.4, another 0.4, another 0.4, until he gets to the plant. Then, Lucian, can you tell me what the variable is going to represent in this situation? So what thing don't we know, right, is what we're looking at here. We know he starts at 4. Actually, here, we should probably skip that question for a moment, do we know what our target result is? Where are we trying to get to? Sorry, I couldn't hear you there. So, oh, he wants to come eat this. Right? He wants to come eat the plant. And the plant is, where's the plant at? 6. So that is where we're trying to get to. You're very welcome. Victor, what do you think? What is our variable going to represent in this situation? So Mia said the 0.4 happens multiple times. But what is the 0.4? What is that, Charlie? Close. Each hop, right? So our variable is going to represent the number of hops because we don't know it. We don't know how many hops the rabbit needs to make. So guys, how we set this up then, I'm just going to write it all in purple since I haven't really used purple down here, is we started at 4. We're going to add on a hop of 0.4, but we realize that 1 hop isn't enough. So when we do something multiple times, what do we do mathematically? Multiply, right? No trick question there. What variable would be good to use for hops? H, yeah, it makes sense, right? And then we are trying to equal 6. If the first thing we want to do is talk about how much distance does the bunny still need to cover, how do we figure out what this distance is still? Right, if he's right here. Okay, we take away this 4. Right, so we take away that constant value first. So when we take away that 4, we get 0.4 times h, just that's it on the left-hand side, equal to how much distance does he need to cover? 2, right? This little gap out here is 2. We're going to take that distance and split it up by hopping, right? Hibbity, 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 hop. How do I split something up? We divide. And if you don't have a calculator, you should probably grab one because they make our life easier. We could also think of this like 20 divided by 4, right? If I move the decimal on top and bottom. But this should be 5, and we gotta have a label, guys. 5 hops. 2 hops this time. 2 hops this time. Everybody clap your hands. All right, try Keenan's problem on your own. Try to answer those questions. What happens once, and or like where does he start at? What is going to happen multiple times? What is our variable going to represent? And what are we trying to get to? What is our target result? I used to play it when we had dances at school. All right, so that you are not surprised, Miriam, Skylar, Charlie, and Amelia, you are my next 4 volunteers. Thank you for volunteering. Miriam, when I look at Keenan's situation, where's he start, or what happens once? Yeah, he's doing 8 push-ups a day right now, which is 8 more than I'm doing. I should probably get on that. Get our beach bodies back. If we get to go to a beach this year. Skylar, what happens multiple times? The increase of 2. Sorry, I changed my highlighter colors from the problem above there. I should have probably kept them the same. You guys are probably doing better than me. Yesterday, Valerie and I think it was Lily were arguing about who had the better looking notes. So apparently, when we come all back in together, we should have a competition of who takes the prettiest notes. So we would like cover up your name, and like if you want to submit a page of notes for like prettiest notes, we'll cover up your name and like people can vote of like who takes the best notes. Charlie, what would our variable represent here? We know how many he can like put on each day, but we're kind of wondering how long it will. Well, so again, before I answer that question, sometimes it's better to go answer the target result question. What do we want to get to, Charlie? 30. Yeah, we want to get to 30. So sometimes that's better to answer first. So then what we're asking is how long will it take us to get to 30? Amelia, how long in what? Like, do you know what the variable represents here? Close. I couldn't hear you quite. It's number of days. Thank you. I can't hear very well, guys, so when I call on you, please project if you can. So when you think about what the variable represents, think about what number goes with the variable. It's 2 push-ups every day, right? Because we're adding an extra 2 every day. So by the 3rd day, I'm going to add 2, add 2, add 2. By the 5th day, I'm going to add 2, add 2, add 2, add 2, add 2. Or I could just multiply. Now, I'm sorry, I realize that you don't really have a ton of space down here. If you would like to grab a piece of graph paper or a quarter piece of graph paper, right? I got the like baby pieces of paper up there. Grab a piece of paper, but we are going to solve this equation together. So if you need a piece of graph paper, please grab it. I know I didn't leave a ton of space on here. If you need help, look up at the board. Otherwise, try to solve this on your own. Madeline, what would I do first on both sides? Yeah, we get rid of the 8 because that's what he started with. Now we're going to figure out how many extra push-ups does he need to do. Well, when we took the 8 away, he needs to do 22 extra push-ups. Hey guys, notice that D, it looks dangerously close to 0. So I like to keep my multiplication symbol shown so I remember that that's 2 times D, not a 2 and a 0. Andrew, what do I do now? Yeah, we divide by the number we want to get rid of, which is 2. What's 22 divided by 2? 11. 11 what? Days. And guys, on your mastery, I'll tell you on your mastery that you must have labels. But and we ran into this yesterday. If I asked you up here, what do you think our answer is going to be? You'd probably say push-ups, because I see push-ups, 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 push-ups. But that's not what we're solving for. What we're solving for is how many days does it take? Any questions on the front? flip it to the back. Go ahead and try the situation with Hope and the situation with the daycare. Now hold up, you got to hear me because what I have typed on here is not exactly what I want. I want you to determine what the variables represent, but then we're also going to solve. So we're going to use this space out here and probably this space over here to solve. So once you figure out what the variable represents, you don't even have to like write that down. I want you to solve it after you figure out what the variable represents. So the equation is given to you. Even if you don't know what the variable represents, go ahead and try to solve the equation. If nothing else, we could start by highlighting some stuff. Isis, can you tell me what you think the Y represents there? Oh, yeah, the third yo-yo, right? They give us yo-yo number 1, they give us yo-yo number 2, and then they just tell us the total. So the Y has to be the third yo-yo. So when I bring this equation over here, is there anything I can put together to clean this up? Jocelyn, what do you think? Is there anything I can put together in that equation to clean things up? So my left side has 1 3/4, 1, and Y. My right side just has 4 1/3. Yeah, put the first two yo-yos together. So 1 3/4 and the extra 1 makes 2 3/4. Any questions on why I'm writing down 2 3/4 plus Y equals 4 1/3? Any questions on why I added the first two yo-yos together? Now, I'm betting that all of you are thinking, okay, let's take away the 2 3/4, but that's kind of tough here because fractions, gosh darn it. We need common denominators. And before we do common denominators, I remember that crazy math teacher I had said that fractions are better than mixed numbers. Wait, fractions are better. This has fractions. Oh, improper. That's what we want to do first. So 4 times 2, 8 plus 3 more. We get 11 over 4. My 4 1/3, we take 3 times 4. Right, that gives us 12. We get 13 over 3. Please make sure that if you did not do this on your own, that you're following along now, because this is probably the toughest problem I would give you on a mastery, is one where you have to go back to what we did months ago and think about improper fractions, then common denominators, and then we can solve the equation. So with my denominators of 4 and 3, I made it through the whole stack. We're starting over. Lucian, can you tell me, with a 4 and a 3 in my denominators, what would a good common denominator choice be? Yeah, 12 is perfect. So to get to 12, I got to do times 3, and times 3, and times 4, and times 4. Remember, we can do whatever we want as long as we keep things fair. Doing it on top and bottom keeps it fair. You guys are getting really good at math. You're like better than me at this point. Because math is hard. 33 over 12. I almost accidentally wrote 4 there. What's 13 times 4? 52. See what I mean? You guys are faster than I am. Now, we can try to get the y by itself by getting rid of the 33/12 by doing subtraction. So on both sides, we're going to subtract away 33/12. So I know this looks kind of weird because I'm trying to squeeze things in. So over here, I'm just going to write it off to the side. We only need to think about the numerators. Now, actually, I'm going to bump this over to the left just so I have a place to write. Y equals how many twelfths? Yeah, 19. Or we could say 1 and 7/12. I really doubt that you had time to solve the daycare problem. But, Madeline, did you have time to think about what this A represents? And it's totally fine if you didn't have time yet. All right, let's take a couple minutes on your own. Madeline, I'll come back to you. Take a couple minutes on your own, figure out what this A would represent, and solve it, because this is way easier than the fraction problem. I am not saying this is easy. I'm saying it's easier than having to deal with fractions, because fractions are kind of annoying. Any questions from the problem up here? I can come over to you and explain it to you. I have notes from yesterday that I could just give you. Hey guys, if you ever realize that, like, oh crap, I missed some of the notes, I spaced out during the lesson, whatever, like, I have some extra copies of completed notes. You can always come ask me to see them or have them or, like, go make a Xerox copy of them. Like, I am more than happy to share with you. Now, my notes won't be bedazzled like what Lucienne looks to be doing. And some of you guys make your notes really awesome. You look like you're bedazzling over there. Oh. Yeah, that's a good idea, but we got to get you some highlighters. I need to get some more classroom highlighters, but guys, please. Yeah, so please try to start bringing highlighters with you to school. And, like, if you have your own, please don't use mine. If you have your own in your backpack, like, so that other people, if they forget theirs, they can use them. You can if you want. I'm going to try to fit it in over here, but it depends how big you write. So if you want to put it on a separate sheet, these notes are for you. Like, I may collect them and look at them at some point, but remember, you're taking notes for your own benefit. A base fee. I know I'm changing the question that I asked you, Madeline, but Madeline, does a base fee happen once or multiple times? Yeah, once. It's like the Skate Zone party, guys, where you had to pay a fee for the party. You don't pay a fee multiple times. That would suck. You would pay for each person that shows up. That's going to happen multiple times, right? But a base fee happens once. Please make sure you've got that highlighted or underlined or indicated somehow. Victor, what happens multiple times here? Yeah, the 50 cents, right? We could also say $0.5, but we know that that's like 50 cents. Amelia, what would our target be here, like our goal? And it's not really like a goal in this situation. What do we end up at? Can you check the problem for what they end up having to pay, like the total? Because that's the other thing I maybe should have said over here with target result. Really, another word that we could put there, and you could come back to the front and write this if you want, is total, right? The target result is also the total of the situation. So, Albin had to pay $10.50. Aha! There's our total. Albin had to pay $10.50. Who's ever gone to care after school? Like if your parents have to work late or whatever. So guys, this is like a care after school type situation. But if you're supposed to be picked up at 6 o'clock and your parents still aren't there, the people that are watching you are supposed to go home, right? So this is what the 50 cents is doing, is saying, well, you're late. You got to pay us extra because I'm supposed to go home. So why are they paying extra? It's 50 cents for every 50 cents for every minute, right? The minute late after closing, like every minute late, that's what our A represents, is our minutes late. So now, let's copy it over here or wherever and solve it. This one will need less space than the one above, because that one above was really tough, right? The fraction one. Charlie, what am I going to do on both sides to start this out? We always want to get rid of the constant, if we can. The constant was the thing that happened once. Yeah, get rid of that 3, right? Get rid of the base fee, because we want to look at how late they were and how much they paid for being late. So if we get rid of the $3 from each side, that tells me for being late, they paid an extra $7.50. For being late, they paid an extra $7.50. Now that was still at 50 cents per minute. I don't know why they're using, well, they're using A because of after, is why they're using A. Skylar, what do I do to get the A by itself? Yeah, absolutely. We divide by that 0.5. Guys, I want to take a moment to plug extensions. No one actually comes to my room, like Miss Allie's room and what, like nobody like lands here for extensions. It's just people that want to come and do math. If you just want to come and sit in here and do math in the room with all the posters, you're welcome to just come in here to do math. If you need help, obviously I will help you. But a lot of students have started to realize that if I'm working on math at extensions, I might as well just go do it with Mr. Hudson. Because then I say, hey, hop on my Zoom just in case. And when you have a question, we just throw it on the screen, do it together, and you know you're going to get it right. So please, I wanted to take a moment and remind you, my room is open at extensions. So like anybody can come, nobody lands here on their own. It's just whoever wants to come down to my room. Please come do math with me. I get bored. Otherwise, I'm like looking out the window counting birds, and it's like people think I'm crazy. So I'm joking. I don't like count birds, but I do get bored. It just never got off the ground. I need kids to do it. Like I can't be the one running a club. I can like support it, but I mean, if you want to do it, I can find where the chessboards got to. The chessboards are all in a filing cabinet somewhere, like in the gym probably. We're going to start on Roger's problem and go this way over to perimeter, then down to John, and then over to Josh. I want to give you 5 minutes to try this on your own because I've not given you enough time to just like try stuff on your own and take risks today. You are welcome to talk with each other. I know it's tough because of masks, but I'm going to give you 5 minutes where I stop talking and you guys can do whatever. You can work independently. You can chat with each other. You can use a calculator. You can pull out your computer and Google stuff. You can get out yesterday's notes. Like, I don't care what you do. You got 5 minutes. I'm going to break that to say, for Roger's situation, I want to make sure you realize that we're looking at daily. So even though the $40 says $40 per day, and you might think like, oh, that's like 40D, right? Like 40 times how many days? We're only looking at a single day. So the 40 is only going to happen once. It's the commission that he gets multiple times based off of sales, right? Commission is based off sales. Yep. Set it up and solve it, please. It's fine if you get the wrong answer. That's the point of practicing with me. It's a little bit more frustrating when you get it wrong on Khan Academy. That's why we're trying to figure out those mistakes now. So please be willing to get wrong answers. This is your safe place to fail. We come here to grow. We don't come here to say, like, I already know that. I mean, some of you say that, but... Really, like, if you think about it, you come to school to mess up. Like, you come to school to make mistakes and have somebody tell you, like, hey, that was a mistake. Let's do it this way. Is that a hand or just a stretch? It's a what? I'll be quiet. Can I talk again? I don't want to get in trouble. You got mad at me.
Got yelled at by Lucienne this morning. Got sent to the principal's office for talking.
No, for real though, I did get in trouble as a kid for talking too much. So you're more than welcome to call me out when I, say I'm going to stop talking, but don't. All right, Lucienne, you do get called on though because, you told me to stop talking. What do we start at for Roger's situation? $40. Now I'm actually going to write this up here, and then I'm going to grab a Post-it note and kind of do my work right here. He starts at 40, and then, Jocelyn, what does he earn for every pair of shoes? And because he's going to sell more than just one pair of shoes, we're going to write 450, yeah, times P, which is the pairs. I don't love that they're using P, but it's the pairs of shoes. And he would like to make how much today, Isis? How much does he want to make today? $112. So, Miriam, to start this, what are we going to do to both sides? Yeah, and guys, think about what we're doing. We're taking away how much he makes no matter what, to look at how much does he need to make in his commission. So when we take away the 40, and remember, we can draw that line down the equal sign if we want to. When we take away the 40, we're saying the amount he makes in commission will be $72. If this works out, if he reaches his goal. So now, Drew, what do we do to get the P by itself? Ow, I just stabbed myself. And I believe, double check it with your calculator, I think we get 16. Can't leave it. There's no label on it. Ah, 16 pairs of shoes. I'm going to say pairs sold, because it would have to be that he sold those pairs to get the commission. Now over in the perimeter problem, guys, any time a problem has something to do with a shape, my advice is draw that shape. So if I draw a rectangle, and it doesn't have to actually be perfect, I just draw any old rectangle. Then I label what they tell me. The width is 6.5. Okay, so just because I have more space on top and bottom, I'm going to say those are the widths, leaving these as the lengths. And what else do we know, Mia? Yeah, the perimeter is 34. Well, wait, perimeter is all the sides added up, right? So I just need to go ahead and write out all the sides added up. So I've got an L. Add up all the sides and make it equal to 34. What am I able to do now? Blank, blank, blank. Combine. Yeah, combine like terms. Right, so my L can add with my L, my 6.5 can add with my 6.5. I get 2L and 13. Don't think you're wrong. Well, unless you're wrong, but you were wrong about thinking you were wrong, which did then make you wrong. But when you're wrong about being wrong, you're actually right. So now, let's just, I don't know, I gotta shuffle this again. I feel like our order doesn't change very much because there's not very many of you guys. But I've already made it through the deck twice today. Now, Drew, this is a different step than what I feel like I asked you twice in a row. What do we do now? Yeah. Last time I asked you, it was a division that we needed to do. This one is a subtraction that we have to do first. So now we get 2L is equal to 21. And we divide by 2 and find out that L is... Now I'm going to do the John problem for you in hopes that we have time for you to do the Josh problem on your own. These problems that involve less than or anything like that, and at the same time involve a fraction, look kind of scary. Right? This problem looks kind of scary at first. John read the first 114 pages of a novel. Guys, stop your sentence there. Absorb that. Then come back to the problem. Say, okay, which was, what was? The 114. The 114 was, or is, we could say, 3 pages less than a third of the novel. So when we go to write this out, we're going to say, okay, 114 is, well, it's close to a third of the novel, right? It's near a third of the novel. P for pages, they tell us, so P for pages. But is it more than a third of the novel, or is it less than a third of the novel? Less. So what do I put after the 1/3 P? Minus 3, right? His 114 pages is almost a third of the pages, of the entire book. He is 3 pages away. So if John wants to get to that 1/3 point, what should he do? Read 3 more pages. So we add 3 pages to what John has read. Meaning he's now read how many pages? 117. And that is a third of the entire novel. Guys, I know if I ask you, what do we do to undo multiplication? You're going to say division, and that's great, and I agree. But think, right? I never want you to just do things blindly because you, memorize stuff. How many thirds do I need to get to the entire book? 3 of them. So you could divide by 1/3. Or it's the same math. We just multiply by 3. Right? Because what we need to do to turn a third into a whole thing is multiply by 3. So we multiply by 3. And we will find that the entire novel had how many books? Or how many books? How many pages? What? 351, I think I heard. Sorry, and I did not leave space for my label, but we would want to label pages. I also realized that up here, I forgot to label this units. So we can just put a U for units. Try Josh on your own. I'm going to bring up around wipes. We're going to use Josh's problem as the warm-up for tomorrow. Okay, so please don't lose these notes. We're going to use it first thing tomorrow morning. You guys have some awesome looking notes. You're doing great. That's yours. Sometimes I just give you guys stuff. Yesterday somebody came to my class so late, I just gave them a copy of notes that were done. Now, that does not mean come to class late, because then you get free notes. But then I offered my 3A class that I would sell my notes, and we were speculating how much is it worth to you guys if you didn't have to take the notes, and you could just, have this. What's $5? That's a lot. But they're my notes. They're Hudson original notes. I'll even sign it for you. I am famous. I'm on YouTube. I've got 1,000 videos and 100 subscribers. I know. I have 180 or something like that, which is sad because there's that many people in Phoenix. It's if I asked everyone, hey, would you go subscribe? But I don't, right? I just don't care. It is time to get out of here. So I am sorry, guys. We're done with math. Actually, I have my comments disabled for what it's worth. You can't comment on my videos. So one really bad thing about the internet is bots. And if you